Start your day
The Alan Cox Show.
on 100.7 WMMS.
Guardians trying to get the upper hand over the Mariners. They shut them out last night, but they are finishing that series as we speak. It's 3-2 Seattle right now in the bottom of the fifth. And then the Toronto Blue Jays will get here tomorrow for the weekend series against the Guardians. Of course, you'll hear all of it here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. Tomorrow night's game starts at 7:10. 6:40 is going to be your pregame coverage. And the last week and a half, maybe, to use the promo code CARDINAL for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company. And then once July hits, obviously, we will have a new promo code for you. Almost July, for Christ's sake. I mean, today is the solstice, of course. Today is technically the first day of summer, but it is also the longest day of the year.
We did it.
Well, I shouldn't say the longest day. It's the day with the most sunlight. And I was reading that it hasn't been this early in the year since Washington was president, since 1796, because of the leap year. So in New York, you'll have more than 15 hours of daylight.
Wow.
What an exciting time to be alive.
What a day.
The summer solstice, the longest day of the year. 3:50 p.m. is the exact moment. That's 3:50 Central. There's simply no way to know what time that would be here.
5:50.
But that would be that's probably close. I don't know.
7:30.
That's probably close too.
7:30 a.m.
Time is a flat circle. You only get 3 guesses, and I'm sorry you've exhausted all of yours.
Sorry.
So the sun is at its highest point in the sky each year. And then, you know what bums me out about the summer solstice is that after that, the days are getting progressively shorter. And so we only have 94 more days of summer. So use them wisely. Now, there is probably at least one person listening right now. God forfend, but it could happen. One person listening now who will not see the end of those 94 days of summer. So make it a good one. Live it up.
Are you threatening somebody right now?
No, I'm not threatening someone.
Sounds
Just saying the law of averages
Yeah.
stands to reason that
At least
might be the
one
case.
person who lives on my street and drives a green Toyota.
A green Toyota.
Your days
That
are
guy who
numbered.
starts mowing his lawn at 8:30 on a Saturday. So tell me about the drunk lady.
Oh, God. So we get into the elevator last night. And again, it's all tourists. It's all people from all over the world. And there is a, older, I'd say probably mid-60s, older British man, okay? And he looks Margaritaville. He's bright pink from sunburn, white hair, unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt down to his little white chest hair, you know.
He's checking all the boxes.
Yeah, and he's like a chubby, he looks like a 65-year-old dude. He's got a little belly, whatever. And very clearly drunk. And then he's with a very young, some type of Latino girl.
Mm-hmm.
She looks maybe 21.
I believe they
okay?
call them Latinas.
Latina. And so she's hammered, all right? And she is swaying, can't walk straight, her eyes are closing. And me and my niece and nephew and my sister are already on the elevator. They get on.
It wasn't Donald Sterling, was it?
It was not. They get on with us, and the drunk Latina lady, she looks at my nephew, and she's trying to speak, but it's half Spanish, half English, and drunk. So, we cannot understand a single thing that she's saying. And she's, trying so hard to, formulate words. And the guy she's with just keeps being okay. And he goes, I'm sorry, she was overserved. She was overserved. And the lady, she looks at her, yeah, overserved. And then she looks at my nephew. She formulated, how tall are you?
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at us, and he was 48 inches, or however tall he is. And
What is he holding up a prize for the right answer,
that's
or
what
what's
we're
happening?
What is this? So we're not really sure what she's getting at, and she didn't understand what he said. And then she asks again.
He's playing along.
how tall are you? And I was like, he's about 4 feet tall. And then she like looked at me and she goes, how the F tall are you? And I was like, what is happening? So now
Were they
she's
the
getting-
only two other people in the elevator?
Yeah. So now she's getting like aggressive and like started to like I would wobble toward me where how the F tall are you? I'm like, is there something lost in translation where she's not meaning to say tall? Or is this bitch ready to fight me over my height? Because then she looks at us and she goes, I'm 5'8". Like she's like mad about it or something. And the guy keeps trying to shush her and like be like, no, like leave him alone, leave him alone. And she like looked at him and she goes, are we going to the room? Like that. And I'm like, how did this happen? How did this drunk Latina lady meet this British man? And did he get her?
Making-arrangements.com.
I wonder how.
But
yeah.
I'm like, did he
I like
get
he says,
her?
like, she was overserved. Like, he had nothing to do with it. He
That's
couldn't have
what
cut
I'm
her
saying.
off. He
Like,
couldn't
did
have
he-
gotten her out of there at a more opportune time.
Did he get her this hammered on purpose? Or did she show up drunk to their arranged date? Because now she's trying to fight minors over their height in an elevator at Margaritaville Times Square. So she's like stumbling around. She's this, and like my sister started to get really mad because she's like cussing and acting insane in front of the kids, you know? So my sister like stands in front of the kid. My sister's 5'1". I'm like, what are you going to do? You gonna fight this drunk lady on the elevator? Like, nothing's
Ooh,
gonna
elevator
happen.
fight. It'd be sweet.
Right.
Like
But
Captain
so,
America.
Yeah.
They end up stumbling off at whatever level they're supposed to be at, and he's like dragging her along. And I get like worried in those situations because I'm like, how much of this is actually consensual though? Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
he was kidnapping her?
That's not.
kidnapping her, but like, I don't know. It was just makes
You
me
got your own
nervous.
problems. That's not on your menu. Whatever's
No,
going
I
on
know.
there.
Oh, I'm not gonna like worry about like I'm not
Right.
gonna go follow him and be like, are you here against your will or like nothing like that. But it's like, I don't know, man. I felt bad for her. I felt angry at her. I felt confused by the couple, like the two of them together. I wasn't really sure what was happening. I don't know. And then I was like,
Also,
maybe
you know,
this-
it also underscores to me, it's no wonder that so many kids go off the rails or are dicks, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
kids that are dicks, sure. But when they're like, these are my role models, these grown-ups, these
Yeah.
people who are telling me what to do all the time, what are you, insane? No wonder kids are like, I don't think so. It's not for me.
seeing what other people act like in public, and they're
Yes,
just like,
grown adults.
wait a minute, hold on a second. What is that? It was wild.
When they got off the elevator, were you guys all kibitzing with each other about what just happened?
Well, we like told the kids because my nephew was like, "Why was she so mad at us?" Like he was confused, and we're like, "She's drunk. Don't worry about it." Blah,
Some
blah,
people get
blah.
angry when they're drunk. Some people get happy. Other people get angry.
Yeah, and then we're sitting at dinner at Margaritaville, and you're looking out on Times Square, and there's a crackhead or something. It was an upper for sure. It was either crack or meth. This guy was dance battling himself for like a solid half hour.
It wasn't Batman, was it? Did he get to New York from here, from the east side of Cleveland?
Might have been.
Oh, okay.
Birdman.
He was
Sorry, Birdman.
He was dance battling himself. He was like pulling his pants down and like doing cartwheels and like
Sweet.
screaming at cars. And then he eventually got arrested because he started banging on the window of a business and was like screaming and like punching the window. And the kids are watching this. They're like, what is that? And I was like, that's drugs. And my nephew actually had a very funny line. My sister's like, yeah, he's high. Sometimes when people are high, they do stupid things. And my nephew turned around and looked at us. And he goes, he's not high. He's in heaven.
Oh, man.
I was like, you nailed it, buddy.
You better
He is
keep
in
an eye
heaven."
on that kid.
Yeah. I was like, he is so high. He has no idea where he is right
Oof.
now.
10 years down the road. How did you end up this way? I was
I
in New
saw a man
York
in
and I
heaven.
saw a man having the best time of his life.
Yeah, right. And I was like, I mean, probably there's something freeing about being on that many drugs where you just, what else are you going to do, you know?
Right.
So the kids had a pretty well-rounded experience yesterday. They got to see a crackhead dance. They almost got fought by a Latina hooker. They got bumped into and yelled
It's
at by
a hooker
drunk.
who is Latina.
Oh, sorry. A hooker of Latina
Yes, that's
descent.
right. Of Latina descent. Of Latin descent.
They got bumped into and yelled at by drunk tourists at the 4-foot pool. Yeah. So it was. I think it was a pretty good day for them, to be honest.
Now, did they head back already? Or are they still there?
They're still here, so they don't
Yeah.
leave until tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
So we walked around Times Square because it's really cool at night. You know, it's all lit up. There's
Yeah.
music. There's all kinds of stuff. So we walked around Times Square last night, and they bought all their souvenirs. So I want to bring my friend back this keychain or my notebook. And here's the thing. I know those tourist traps are in every little beach town you go to, where it's just lined with buy a bathing suit, buy this. You need a hat. I don't mind tourist traps. I really don't, because I'm like, you know what? This is kind of useful. Like, you're coming here, your family from Wisconsin wants a little postcard or a shot glass.
And you may never go back.
That's my point. And, like, people get so aggravated. Oh, I'll never spend that on a tourist trap T-shirt. I'm like, but why not?
You're helping these businesses stay in business.
You're
tourism dollars.
Yeah.
Every city wants tourism dollars.
Yeah.
Every single city wants tourism dollars. And most of that comes from tchotchkes.
Yeah.
I Heart New York.
Yes.
Whatever.
We went into 4 different stores, and they all had different names. One was like I Heart New York. One was I Heart New York Gifts.
You
One
work
was
at I Heart New York.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We did. One was, New York City souvenirs or whatever. But they're all selling the same stuff for roughly the same price. And,
like foam, Statue of Liberty crowns. Yeah.
But I like that. I'm into that stuff. I don't
There's
know.
nothing wrong with it. Nobody's forcing you to buy it.
Right.
Plenty of people walk by and don't break stride everywhere you go. Vegas. Every time we go to Vegas, while we're waiting for our flight, we go into one of those gift shops to grab a handful of dumb things
I like that.
for people. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're overpriced, but everybody knows that, and calm down.
Maybe it's because I didn't travel as a kid, but I'm like, if I got to come home from a trip with anything, that'd be awesome. You just want something to remember your trip by. And so when I see, like, parents yelling at their kids, no, we're not going in there. That's $10 her T-shirt. I'm like, why did you come then?
Well, no, I fully
understand.
but
I fully
also
understand people that don't want to spend the money. But
also,
there's
like,
nothing wrong with it.
The kids probably already went into a dozen of those stores.
Yeah,
and
M&Ms.
like,
and
do we want to see another? And like, it's all the same stuff, bud.
Yeah. But yeah. So
you know what my favorite souvenir is? Memories.
The friends you make along the way.
Yeah.
Your vacation friends?
Not so many of them, but memories.
Memories. So
Yeah.
They're at the Museum of Natural History right now.
Oh, boy. We got T-Rex over there. What do they got?
Yeah. They have like the full. This
T-Rex
is what
is
sparked
playing?
the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
Bang a
playing
Gong.
T-Rex.
It's called The Work of T-Rex. Bang a Gong, colon. And I think
they
they've
have
got
a real actual gong.
Yeah, and I think they've got
old,
Mark
ancient-
Bolan's skull too on
The
display.
T-Rex plays it.
On loan.
They
do Hamlet with it.
It's 93 degrees here today.
Is that a lot?
That is a lot of degrees. Yes.
Celsius.
So yeah, we're on the sun.
It's 199 degrees there in New
literally
York.
melting.
Mhm.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah.
No, so today was an indoor day where I was like, we don't need to do 40 activities today. Just go. And here's the other thing. I'm going to talk a little bit of trash. I know, and then we'll be done. I swear, and then we can move on. My sister and I got into a little bit of an argument.
You're going to talk trash about your sister.
Not about her, but she was saying that I was
Oh,
making her feel.
faux shiz.
I was making her feel stupid. Like she's never traveled anywhere. Or she's never been to a big city. She said I was over-explaining things and that I was like being condescending. And I was like,
another person can't make you feel stupid.
Well, and I was trying to explain like
Mary can.
I'm
She
not.
did it to her sister.
Apparently. I was like, I'm not trying to make you feel dumb. You just have never been here. She's like, yes, I did. I was here 20 years ago and I did it by myself and blah, blah. I said, okay, but you haven't been here in 20 years. You haven't done it by yourself with 2 preteens.
She's like, I've been here before. Now let's go to the World Trade Center.
Right. So, and I was like, just trying to help. And maybe I was being like, hey, don't do this. Like maybe I was being a little overbearing, right? And we had this big long talk about it. And then the minute she gets out of my sight, she takes a freaking
It's out of your sight. You're like her mother. The minute she gets out of my sight.
Well, she ends up paying $10 for a churro at a little cart. She's like, well, there were no prices, so he gave it to me and then just said it was $10 and the kids already ate it. I'm like, this is exactly what I mean by you've never been here. Like, I would have been able to tell you, hey, that man with a cooler is not the person you want to buy. There's literal carts with deep fryers that will do churros for $1, you know? So she does that, and then she
But
texts
then you
me.
just tell her
These
that
are all
they're
stories, though.
selling mangoes in the.
Right, but I was saying from like there's actual people with physical carts that they put up every day.
Yeah.
Like almost like food trucks. You know what a hot dog cart looks like. Those are the ones that I trust. I do not trust a man with a cooler with churros wrapped in tinfoil.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That those are very different things. She's like, oh, well, it was just the first one we saw with the churro sign. I was like, was it handwritten? Like, what are you doing? So she got scammed on that. And then she's like, the kids were tired from walking, so we took one of those pedal carriages back.
The rickshaw?
And no, the ones where it's like flowers and they're playing loud music and it's a person on a bicycle pedaling you.
Yep.
She goes, he didn't tell us they charged per minute. It was $100. And I was like, this is another thing that I was like, I'm like, I can't feel bad for you.
She might as well be wearing a neon sign that
Yes!
just a tourist on her head. Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I meant by.
Yeah, but that's
hey,
less tourist, and she's just not asking questions. She would get
That's
ripped.
a family thing.
She would get ripped off if that was happening here in Cleveland.
But my point was, like, these are the things I was trying to explain to you before you got mad at me.
I see.
And was telling me that I'm being condescending or, like, that I'm telling you you're stupid or don't know how to do anything.
And she has to know how much her sister loves to say, I told you so.
Well, and
She has to know this.
Really working on that. But it was little things like that kept happening where I was like, don't sit here and yell at me and tell me you know how to travel and then get sucked into every little thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, hey, I've been here. I've done it. I know. Please listen to me.
I would think she'd want to avail herself of your wisdom.
The argument started because we got into an argument because she said that she thought she read on the internet that they could do every single part of Central Park in 3 hours. And I was like, that is a lie. If you're jogging, maybe. I was like, it's 60 city blocks. Yeah. You can't walk 60 city blocks in 3 hours. Like, there's no way you're going to do it. And she was like, well, that's right. She started to pull up the website. I said, you don't live here. I don't care what the internet says. I said, are you going to walk the kids past everything? Like, there's the zoo. There's the carousel, and not let them actually do any of it? You might be able to walk around Central Park for 3 hours, but you're not going to be able to do every part of it.
Internet also says that I'm a millionaire, and of course that's patently false. So
I was
multi-millionaire.
Thank you, Bill.
I was a little frustrated with that, and then today I had to leave. I was so mad at myself. I left all my radio stuff at my apartment. I didn't bring it for us to stay in Times Square last night, so I had to go back to Astoria before I came into work today. So I was like, you guys are going to be navigating the subway by yourselves. Times Square is the biggest, and I'm trying not to be condescending.
And she got on the path and ended up in New Jersey.
Right. Well, that's exactly what I was like.
There was a guy in the subway who told me it was $10 a minute to ride the subway.
And that's why I'm like, listen, stay close. It's huge. Follow the signs. Your iPhone will tell you exactly where to go. Don't deviate. And I'm trying not to be like... But I'm like, you also just paid $100 for a carriage ride, so I'm not really sure what you want me to say, you know?
Some people are saying, what tone did you use?
It was probably a mean one.
I think we're hearing the tone she used.
Because
to be 100% honest, probably not that nice.
Because
hey,
some people
could you go
say,
across the street and get me a slice of pizza?
No pizza, only a kalash.
Oh, shoo. All right. Give me one bowl.
No bowl, stick.
Oh, jeez, that's just awful. Now, what do you have to wash that awful taste out of my mouth?
Mountain Dew or crab juice?
Ugh! Oh, jeez. I'll take a crab juice.
some people say that tone is important.
Tone is important. But I also am frustrated. You know what I mean?
Her frustrated tone is also important.
I get frustrated because I'm like, just listen to me. Like, why?
Yeah, but you also have to take your hands off the wheel at that point too.
I was like, all right, but they did.
Please try to come back not dead and have a good time.
Figure it out. I hope this is a good experience for you.
Yep.
It's very hot. Don't take anything from anybody. Don't touch anything.
Right. Definitely don't touch anything.
Those are the two. But they made it. They made it through the subway system by themselves. They made it to the museum by themselves. So everybody's alive.
Yeah, right.
It's all good.
Well, good. Everybody's alive. That's the important part. I've got to take a break here. I want to send a text, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com for everything else.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. We got stuff. You want stuff. Win stuff. This week at WMMS.com.
WMMS 2 Hours to Midnight presents Sepultura on their Celebrating Life Through Death, the North American Farewell Tour. Register to win a pair of tickets to see Sepultura with Obituary, Agnostic Front, and Claustrophobia, Tuesday, October 8th at the Agora. Register to win and get more info at WMMS.com.
Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports, presented by Elf Cosmetics and Elf Skin.
The streaming debut for The Off-Season, a reality series created by NWSL and U.S. Women's National Team star Midge Purce, has been confirmed for this summer on X. The 6-episode, half-hour docuseries